This is one of the best football players in the league. He's on a 2-0 team. And one of the most exciting, one of the most watchable football players, pound for pound, ever. You know him, you love him, we got him. Tyrann Mathieu from the New Orleans Saints. What's up, baby? How we doing?
Yeah.
Good morning, guys.
It's great to see you. It's crazy, though, Tyrann, and I know you relate to this. The Honey Badger is in season 12. How the hell did that happen, man?
Man, I don't know. A lot of hard work. I've always been surrounded by some great teammates that just inspired me, coaches as well. So there's been a lot of people that, they're the reason why, I'm still, playing, this game.
Yeah, man, I got to ask you, Tyrann, man, because the other side of the ball, your offense, it scored 91 points, bro. Like, in 2 games, you see them every day in practice. Tell us what's making them so successful right now.
Well, I think everybody's just bought in, man. I think that entire group, from the offensive line, all the way to skilled players outside, I think all those guys are just really inspired right now. And, I think that they know that it's a great system, right? And I think all those guys are just, like I said, excited about it.
Look, I look at this team, and it's not just offense. It's not just Derek Carr. You guys are doing it on defense also. And it's not these young up. It's you. It's Demario Davis. It's Cameron Jordan. Like, you guys all stuck around and said, we're not done with this yet. We're not rebuilding. We still have it. Talk about what's going on in that defensive room, because I love the mix of young and old and the veterans and the youth, and you guys are leading the way.
Yeah, man, I think it's a good mixture of young guys, older guys. I think our coaches do an outstanding job. And I think defensively for the Saints, man, like we just have a certain way that we want to play the game. And, I think these first couple weeks, we've been able to display that.
Tyrann, one of my favorite things that I used to love when you were at LSU, when you played in the NFL, is just your personality that comes out on the field, especially when you make an electric play. We're seeing some stuff from your quarterback recently that I, for one, have really jumped onto. We got him talking smack to J.C. Horn. He's like, I had 3 touchdowns specifically on you. He's doing the Michael Jackson in the end zone in Dallas. Yeah. Speak about your quarterback, please, and his behavior recently.
Man, he's feeling good. He's playing confident. And, like I said, man, I think as a team, we just inspired. We put a lot of work in this offseason. And, I think we recognize, too, that, man, like we all we got, right? So I think that ability to just continue to just gel and bond with each other, I think that's a big reason why, we're all feeling, pretty confident, going forward.
It's been the coolest story of the first couple of weeks, and I know you guys want to continue that. Tyrann, I've followed you on Twitter for years, and I feel like you kind of tweet like you play. Like, it's very emotional, very passionate, and like you're very team-oriented. There's a tweet that you had that caught my attention. So let's just bring this up, because I mentioned earlier it's your 12th season. It makes us all feel old. I can't believe it. Just finished my 12th mini camp. I'm about to reread my draft profile, LOL. So, Tyrann, we did the work, and we got the draft profile right here. I'm just going to give you some gems, and we can react to them. So, Tyrann Mathieu, coming into the draft, quote, he can get pinballed around in a crowd like a JV player. Woo! Average straight line speed for his size, and maybe the riskiest player in the entire 2013 draft. We're 12 seasons later. You've been an All-Pro. You've been a Super Bowl champ. You're still at the top of your game. What's it like to look back on that and hear those sound bites?
Man, it's funny. I think not everybody really knows you. And I think me as a football player, not many people were able to understand me. And, when I came into the league, I, thought there was so many questions, but I thought the main question was I don't think people really took into account how much I love football and how much I was willing to commit to the game and really give to the game. And, I think that, along with, playing with great players and coaches, is a big reason why I'm still playing this game to date. It's because, genuinely in my heart, man, like I owe this game, everything. And I'm still in love with it. And So, you know, I look back on that and I say, man, those people they didn't really realize how much this game, you know, really meant to me.
Yeah, and you've not only fulfilled expectations, you've exceeded them. And I think everyone at home watching is like, oh, that guy's been a fixture in our living rooms for the last decade, nearly a decade and a half. Look, we showed your interception against Dallas a few minutes ago. That was the 34th of your career. But I want to show you the first interception of your career. I want to see if you remember this play, and if you could take us through it. Of course, it's ironic who it's against, but take us through. Do you remember picking off Drew Brees? And who was that? Devery Henderson? Who are you covering on that one?
That was actually Lance Moore on that play. Lance Moore. About 2 plays before that, I got a pass interference call. I actually jumped a slant route 2 or 3 plays before this, and I said, man, once they crossed the 50, I was like, man, I knew they were gonna try to take a shot, and so I just stayed on top of Lance on that play and just came down with it. Now we got beat really bad that day, but it felt good to pick off Drew Brees, you know, in front of my hometown crowd, you know.
I'm looking at the names there. You've got Lance Moore. I'm seeing Kenny Stills on the field. This is a moment in time, and you were on those Bruce Arians Cardinals teams. I have a lot of nostalgia. Patrick Peterson on the other side. Very cool to see this.
And do you have that ball?
I do. I still have that ball. Actually, I have all my interception balls. So I try my best to keep them all. So yeah, man, my pool table room is filled with balls.
I love that.
Well, maybe you'll add one in this next game. I know you've seen probably a lot of film, and I'm sure you watched what happened to the Eagles on Monday night. Now, in your experience, what is it like preparing for a team who's coming off of a crushing loss like this? I mean, you could take advantage of them in any which way, right? But are you going to get are you going in with this mindset we're going to make sure we keep them pinned down?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we're at home. You know, we're in front of our crowd, our fans, and you know, we want to continue to play our best ball. And you know, we know the Eagles are a competitive team. They're a really good team, and you know, good teams don't like losing 2 games in a row. Mm-hmm. So we know that those guys are going to come in, you know, with their hair on fire. They're going to be ready to roll, you know, and get that bad taste out of their mouth. And it'll be a good game. I think both these teams, you know, we match up, you know, pretty evenly. And, you know, it's really going to come down to, you know, defense, right? And how can we take the football away? And what type of field position, you know, we can give our offense. So I think defensively, man, we're just looking forward to a great challenge. Saquon is playing great. You know, the offensive line is still humming. And so we recognize that, you know, we're going to get their best shot, you know, especially from those guys' best players.
Tyrann, when I ask you this next question, I don't want you to think that I'm baiting you into making some proclamation about the Saints in Week 3. I just am curious for you what it feels like.
I wouldn't do that.
Okay, good. But when you think that the Super Bowl is being played in New Orleans, when you think that you are a native son of New Orleans, you went to LSU, and now the big game is being played there in February, how much does it mean to you and to your family and your teammates or the team and the fans that this game is coming to New Orleans, and what would it feel like to play in it?
Yeah, I mean, you know, if you ever been to New Orleans, you recognize early on that, we love to celebrate. We love to have a good time. And so I think the Super Bowl being in New Orleans again is just great for the community. You know, we got a lot of great people here. You know, we know how to have fun. We know how to party, right? And so, you know, we look forward to, you know, just being hospitable. You know what I mean? And, you know, I played in 2 Super Bowls. I won 1. You know, and I recognize, man, that, it takes so much work. Everybody has to be bought in. And you have to be playing your best football at the right time. And, you know, so even though we're off to a great start this season, I would like to see us just continue to get better and hopefully, you know, hit our peak in November, December, January. You know, because the teams that play well in those areas are the teams that are really going to have a chance to, you know, play for the trophy. But yeah, I mean, it'll be an honor to be able to make it that far. But I recognize too, man, it's a lot of work and it's a lot of time between, you know, Week 3 and, you know, the Super Bowl.
It's a great answer, and I'm going to push you for one more before we say goodbye. You talked about buy-in. You talked about hard work. Tyrann, let's talk about you and media, man. You went to the broadcast boot camp, and you did it, and you kind of set yourself up, and then you tweeted like you got a whole new appreciation for, I don't know, frankly, what we do. Dude, how was that? Because you can do this after you want to play. What was it like?
That was eye-opening. You know, I think being able to, you know, call games, being able to be in the studio, doing radio, like you recognize it's a lot of work that's, you know, that people put in, you know, just to talk great about us and to tell great stories. And, you know, so, yeah, man, like it was so fun. Like my brain was somewhat fried towards the end, but man, like it was a great experience. I did a lot of my segments with Logan Ryan, and obviously I'm still playing, but it's amazing to see him on TV now, like calling games, you know, and you know, just a couple months ago we were like nervous, you know, in the green room, you know what I mean, getting ready to do that. So it's fun. It's fun. It's fun to see.
You already know that there's a green room. Man. That's where you hang out. Tyrann Mathieu, stay well. We love having you on the show. See you this weekend. Good luck.
All right, thank you.
See you later, Tyrann.